All right, in our last video, we had a look at creating a tile map and being able to kind of build the whatever size world or shape world that you want. Using all these tiles, you can just go ahead and start building and, oh, let's move to the right tool there. Building this huge elaborate kind of world that you would like. Interesting platformer. Usually you want to start at pick a starting position and pick an ending position and create something really cool and interesting as you go along. The issue is if I play my game now, you will notice that, oh, we're, we don't get to see much of our game. And that's because, well, let's see, I've moved the tile map down. That's why it's weird. There we go. Uh, Similarly, um, the area here you see there's a little blue outline. If I click on my level 1, you can see a little cleaner there. There's purple, blue line here, little blue line down there. This is the size of the screen. And that offers very little real estate for me to be able to create this amazing world that I want. I can see that world, I can see whatever's on the screen, but anything I've built off that screen is not there, or I don't see it. It's clearly there because I can walk off the edge and I can walk back. Um, there's still a platform here, I just don't get to see it. And fortunately, we have a really nice way to fix this. I mean, one way would be to shrink down everything very, very tiny so that you had it on there on your that tiny little screen. But we've got some really nice graphics here and I want my game to look great. I don't want to have to manipulate it. Plus, if we were trying to, do some kind of adventure maze game or platform game where we had to discover where the exit was, being able to see the entire level in one go is not going to help you with that. So I only want to see a little portion of it. And we have a node specifically designed for that. So to my level, I'm going to add a camera 2D. And there's my camera right there. And you can see immediately it pops up. It's got this little purple box here. And this is the lens of the camera I get to look through. And so now if I play my game, you will see, oh, I don't see, oh, there we are. If I jump up, I can just see my head here appearing in the frame because that's where the camera is. Now, if I wanted to move that camera, I can actually show really any portion of the screen that I want. There I am, and now I can see a little bit better, but still doesn't help me out because I'm looking at the exact same thing I was before. The camera actually matches the size of the window. However, uh, we've got a really cool feature of the game in that children, let's go to the player here, children of a object, children of a node, I should say, move with that node. So if I move the player, you can see that the sprite and the collision shape both move with it by default. I can move them separately if I wanted to, or change them separately. But if I pick a parent and I move it, the children move as well. So we can take advantage of that with our camera by essentially grabbing our camera here, and let's kind of put it so it's the players in the center of the camera view there. And I'm going to make the camera a child of the player. And this is really easy to do. All you do is grab the camera, and drag it on top of player. And you will see it tabs in, it kind of indents in like that, indicating that this is a child. Everything else here is we would call siblings if they're at the same level, but anything that's tabbed in is a child. And now you can see even here, as I move around, you can see that purple box is moving with me. Uh, and if I play my game, now we got the camera follows the player along so that we can start to explore this amazing world of mine. Now, as I'm playing this, I'm noticing, especially I hit that my head there, that the camera's following great, but it's following almost too great. It follows every little action I get, and that means the whole background moves. And to be honest, I feel a little seasick when I'm watching that play. So there is and this is a common problem, and maybe it's something you want for a really fast speed game or something like that. But in a platformer game where you're jumping and moving a lot, that can make you feel a little unsettling as you're watching it. And there's a nice feature that's built into our camera setting to do this. So I'm going to click on the camera. Notice this camera is enabled. You can actually have more, more than one camera if you wanted, but we'll talk about that a little bit later. There's a set here called drag. So I'm going to open that up here, and drag is currently disabled. And essentially drag allows me to have the player move a little bit without affecting the camera. So I'm going to enable the horizontal and the vertical drag. And basically what I get down here is these margins. So this is 0.2, which means the player can move 20% of the camera view and it won't affect the camera. Once it gets past that, it's going to start moving. So if we play now, you'll see we get a little bit of movement here, and the camera's not moving. It's when I hit the edge there that it starts to go. And the same works for jumping up and down because I've got both the horizontal and vertical enabled. So it just feels a little bit smoother to me. You're not constantly every bump moving up and down. And you can tweak this number as well as you like. I like to keep it around 20%. Be careful about, let's say, 0.8 on the right margin there. If you go too big on your drag margins, well, then it doesn't start the camera moving until you're right on the edge, which could be good for some games as well. But if I had a baddie here, or maybe a cliff or a pit or something, I wouldn't see that until it was basically too late. So I want the camera to keep me mostly in frame, and you can play with that zero point 0.2 number to get something that you're comfortable with. 0.8 is obviously too big. So now you've got a camera, it follows you around. You know that children can follow their parents, so you can use that for other features. And you have all the real estate in the world to create the most amazing level that you like. So take a little bit of time, have some fun with it, put a camera in, and you can start to explore your world.